The Dallas Fuel are moving to the Eastern Conference for Overwatch League Season 6 after straight up winning the whole league. They said, fuck it, we're gonna pick up our base of operations and just give her over to Korea? Sure, why not? Hashro explained a lot of things about how this is going to affect the future of the Dallas Fuel, why they did it, and things like that. So I'd go recommend you check out their Twitter post. In future seasons, they could go back to NA. This is not like a plan to be a Korean-based organization for the future. It's just like this season, it made more sense for them to go to Korea. And one of the reasons is that it incentivized the core to stay with Dallas as a team. From my point of view, what I'm hearing is they either went to Korea with their core because the boys want to play in Korea. That's where they're from. That's their home. Why not? They were there for 2 seasons. Sure. Go play in Korea. Or their option was to go budget, lose their talent in free agency, and have a pretty bad team in NA. That's what it sounds like to me. And he said, you know what? We'll go to Korea. They went to Korea. Literally. I don't know. So what does this mean for the team in terms of how we rate them, how this is going to impact their performance in the normal gameplay in international tournaments and all that? So for international tournaments, it's a bit of a debuff if they make it in, because the competition is worse in APAC, the practice is worse in APAC, so you are worse as a team. That's just how it goes. If your level of play is lower around you, yours will lower with it. There's no avoiding that. However, the flip side to that is it should be easier for them to make it to the actual tournaments. Here's the thing, right? Top 4 from NA make it, so you say, oh, 4 in NA versus top 2 in APAC make it. 4 is greater than 2. They should be able to make it in an NA. Here's the thing. Because the APAC competition is lower, I think they have a higher chance of being top 2 in APAC than top 4 in NA. Because you gotta remember, this isn't just the championship Dallas Fuel. They lost a lot of core pieces. They had to bring in MCD Bliss as a backline. You went from the best backline in the league to MCD Bliss. Which, I'm not flaming either of them. It's just that they're not Chio and Fielder. They're just not, right? And you also lose Fearless. I didn't even mention that. It's going to be a little bit tough for them to be top 4 NA. However, top 2 APAC, very achievable. You look at the teams right now, you have this Hangzhou Spark, who I think are going to be better than them, but I have Spark bias, so my bad. And the Soul Infernal have been announced right now. Everyone else, a lot of nothing burger from them officially. I think they're probably better than Soul Infernal right now, I would guess, because you have a very credible roster. You still have the core. The winning core is important, and you have Rush, who is just going to absolutely outcoach all of APAC. And so with those two things, I currently would rate them top 2, and I don't think any of the teams they'd announce, unless maybe the Dynasty are crazy or something like that, is going to leapfrog them down. Is that a thing? Leapfrogging down? Sure. So I think that for the actual getting to the international tournaments, I see this as a benefit to them. However, of course, they do have APAC viewership times. You kind of get a disconnect with the NA fans and things like that. So there are pros and cons, obviously, but if there are options where you keep the core of your team, you go to Korea for a season, you see what happens, versus be budget team like the Washington Justice, like the Vegas Eternal or something like that, 100% you go to Korea every time. You try and keep your boys together. So I think it's the right move. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Are they going to run APAC? Are the Spark going to get shit stomped? Or do you think, you know what? They're not even top 2. Let me know down below. Have yourself a good one, and deuces.